Why are my tomatoes not ripe and my neighbors are? Well, here's 10 reasons your garden may not look like your neighbor's right down the street, and it's not your fault. And if you stick around, I've got 11. Every Saturday for the last 5 years, we've been going to you and celebrating your garden. And it's amazing to me how people in the same zone or pretty close to each other, their gardens are wildly different. And they're doing the exact same thing. And nobody's doing anything wrong. When was the last time it rained? You can look at that radar, you're sure. You go to work, you see that radar, yeah, looks like it rained. You get home, you find out that your neighbor, quarter mile away, he got an inch of rain. You didn't get a drop. That can affect your garden. Another contributing factor is temperature variations, little microclimates. So you say, why are their tomatoes red already and mine are just getting going? And then you come to find out they've had a building, which was a nice heat sink, which kept the soil warmer, kept a little microenvironment right there warmer. Their tomatoes are a little further ahead. But in this deep mulch garden, these tomatoes are going to come on just fine. We're going to have a decent harvest, and I applaud everybody out there. Number 3 on my list is the heat island effect. And then on the other hand, if you have things that are bolting, now we went ahead and let these beets go to seed, but if you had buildings or you had a heat island, you can expect like your lettuce to go a little sooner. If you're surrounded by trees, it's a little cooler and a lot of things don't bolt quite as quickly. And number 4 we don't really consider, just wind exposure. The wind can really play havoc on your garden. And if you have trees on the north end to absorb some of that wind, you're in a better shape. If you got some trellises, get stuff growing on those. That also helps stop that wind. Wind burn, it can slow your garden down. Number 5 is the placement of your garden. The sun exposure. You and your neighbor can plant the same seed on the same day. He planted his a little too close to a pecan tree. He's got a little too much shade. Yours is out where you've got 6 full hours or more. You've got a great advantage, and it shows in your garden. Neither one of you did anything really wrong. His gets enough sun, yours just gets better sun. Next on our list, water holding capacity or drainage potential to your garden. Now this was always a problem for me. Why my garden dried out so fast. I'd do everything right. We tilled, we weeded, we watered, we watched the weather. You know, we plant the same seeds as our neighbors, and our neighbors always had a little better harvest. Then I discovered deep mulch. And by just putting a layer of mulch, whether it's cut grass, sawdust, old hay, wood shavings, leaves, any organic material. I use a whole bunch of different organic material, simply because I can't get enough of any one kind. But it holds that moisture. By holding the moisture, you got a better chance of having things come along a little quicker. Now number 7 is what we concentrate on, and that's the soil health, the biology in the soil. And then your plants sometimes seem stressed even though you do water a lot. Well, how's the life in the soil? You know, by promoting with the deep mulch, you actively feed that life in the soil. And that life in the soil is what ultimately breaks down the rocks, the dirt, the sand, silt, and clay, which provides the minerals that the plants need. So the more mulch you put out on your garden, the more life you're going to attract, and the happier your plants should be. Next on our list, thermal mass. A brick wall, a building, some structure nearby that can hold heat. I'm starting to sweat. Kind of hard to think about this microclimate effect. But as we get closer to fall, you may be surprised that your neighbor's basil lasts longer than yours because it's next to a metal building. It's got that thermal mass. Now number 9, and this really does have an effect early in the spring, air drainage. What the heck is air drainage? So why are we talking about cold weather here in July? Well, there's 2 other reasons that your garden can really be affected that nobody thinks about. Well, cold air sinks. This also goes along with the 10th reason that your garden can be different stage than your neighbors. Just simple elevation. You get that cold air early spring or late fall, and it sinks into a low area of your garden, it could freeze what's there completely solid and everything else be just fine. And in the spring, it can slow your tomatoes down substantially. And the same thing goes for a raised bed. Just being up off the ground a little bit can change that temperature just enough on those very beginning days or those very ending days to really make a difference on your harvest or how your plants grow. And here's a bonus reason your garden may be in a different stage than your neighbors, and it's not your fault. And bonus reason number 11, sometimes the critters come and help you out. This poor little raccoon, I'm gonna go ahead and let him go. This trap's only for Chubby. Chubby's the one that's been decimating the garden. Here you go, buddy. In an earlier episode, we did talk about the fact that some years you get a lot of one thing and maybe not the other. This is definitely the year of the cucumber. I've been taking this many or more off for the last 2 weeks. Our squash, we've lost a couple of the vine borers, we've lost a couple of critters. That's gardening for you. But that's why we plant so heavy. We know we're going to share some. Now I know I'm going to get some, but the fun part is finding out what you're going to get. And when they start to make, the hardest work you're ever going to do in a garden is harvest. You can do this too. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant. Let's go plant garden.